Hi, friends. My name is Justice Versetti, and welcome. Thank you for joining me here on the very first episode of Resist for the Future. This is really just going to be kind of an introduction to the channel, who I am, and why I've decided to start this project. So, let's start with who I am. Like I said, my name is Justice Versetti. Over the years, I have been a farmer, I've been a cashier, I've been a retail manager, I have been a welder and fabricator, and I have been an electrician. Long story short, I'm just kind of your average, everyday kind of guy. That's why I decided to start this podcast earlier this year, as it became clear, you know, what we were looking at and who we were going to be having running for the highest office in the United States of America. Really just kind of breaking down into exactly what it was that Donald Trump was planning on enacting if he was given a second term. If you're informed and kind of a news junkie like I am, you know that Project 2025 it really is the playbook for what they're going to do. Given that most of the architects of Project 2025 served in the Trump administration previously. So let's not kid ourselves. We knew exactly what he was going to do, and this was the playbook. So with that being said, what spurred me to really get off the sidelines and make my views heard was a lot of what is actually in Project 2025 in regards to civil rights. Clearly, looking at me, I'm of African American descent, as well as Scandinavian and Native American. I'm really a mutt, if you want to get into the not so technical about it. Growing up, it wasn't always the easiest to fit in, being the background that I am and my heritage. So, needless to say, all the Heritage Foundation things, and then Project 2025 as a whole, it definitely rubbed me the wrong way. If you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And in future episodes, I'll dive deeper into just what is in Project 2025 and what that can mean for the country and the direction that we ultimately head in. So that's what got me off the sidelines. Made me decide that I needed to start really speaking out and really pay attention to what was going on in politics in America. I'm a registered independent. A little more about me. I always really like to delve into both sides of every story because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to feel like I'm misinformed on any given thing at any point in time. I actually prided myself on being able to be objective and look at both sides with an unclouded view. Partisanship has obviously been a very large part of politics, really since the founding of our country way back when. But I don't think the founding fathers really saw what direction things were ultimately going to head in. Obviously, given advances in technology and things of that nature, how could they have foreseen such a thing? So that's another aspect of what really kind of bugs me about Congress and the way things work. Supreme Court with how they want to strictly adhere insert quotes to the Constitution of the United States of America, yet they end up really just perverting the words of the founding fathers of the Constitution just to suit what they need at that moment in time. whatever they have to do to twist words to fit their narrative. It's really quite astounding how many pretzels they can twist themselves into, and really reword things in such a way just to see which direction they want to rule in. So we are where we are. Just over 50 days, Donald Trump, he's set to take over again as the president of the United States of America. And that really throws into focus what actually got him reelected. Democrats, they're pointing fingers. It was the typical infighting that happens after an election loss, especially one that has such devastating. There's been a terrible failure on the part of mainstream media and what they choose to cover and how they choose to cover it. You're going to hear a lot of the term sane washing. You're going to hear it quite frequently over the next 4 years. The reason that term has come into such some would say overuse is because you take a thing that is very clearly insane and you make it seem normal, as if it's something that you see everyday in life and you hear everyday conversation, typical conversation that you might have with friends, family, co-workers, colleagues, what have you. The version of coverage in mainstream media, it's become more obvious when you look into who actually owns these corporations. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, whichever conglomerate it is. Really think about who owns those corporations. I can tell you that it's not an everyday person like you and me. It's a backyard billionaire. Obviously, who is it that they're going to want to be seen in a positive light? Someone like Kamala Harris? A true fighter for you and me? Someone who'd be willing to walk the same streets as we do. Or fellow billionaire Donald Trump, who's very clearly going to serve their purposes. Give them tax cuts that they want. Give them a say in policy. A major say in policy. If you're a billionaire, who are you putting in? Who do you want to install in the Oval Office? Enter bad actors like Elon Musk. It's really just a hard push to fool the American people. It happened a lot in this race. It's extremely unfortunate that it worked. It paid off more. Granted, not by a 50% majority. His overwhelming mandate that he thinks he won. That's clearly not the case. Looking into the numbers recently, there's no mandate, and that'll be another thing that I will cover in a later episode. So what I really want to get across in this introduction to the channel, and why I named it what I did, is we've had our period of mourning over the election loss. Being a registered independent and being able to look objectively at both sides, it's more than clear. It's more than obvious who the adults in the room are, and it's absolutely not the GOP. So as we take a look at where we go from here, as they say, once you've hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. We've had our time to grieve. even more than the losses of rights, policies that would truly help the American people, and really the world as a whole. We're right to mourn those losses. They're devastating. That does not mean that we give up. We need to lock arms this moment. This moment in time is going to be remembered throughout history as the moment that we decided to roll over and give up, or the moment that we decided to stand up and fight for what's really and truly right. The future is definitely something worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for. The future for our kids, our children's children. The decisions we make in this moment are going to define generations of Americans and the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans. The ability to continue to call ourselves Americans. We've never bowed down to an overlord, strong man, dictator types. Americans fight for what's right. And that's what we need to continue to do now. It's like the phoenix, rise from the ashes, stronger than before, more informed than before, better equipped to handle these devastating situations than before. Do the things that you enjoy, that really give your heart joy. Hold on to it with both hands. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. There's a lot of our brothers and sisters that are going to need our help in the coming months and subsequent years that follow. Protect one another. Love one another. If we can figure out how to stand together and truly unify, there isn't a force on this earth that can stand against us. The true American people stand for morals and values, actual morals and values, not this perversion of the MAGA movement. It's not who we are. That's never been who we are. How we want to be viewed around the world as a whole. True leaders, they don't put people down. They lift them up. Lift them, elevate them to a better existence, one that they can be proud of. This is the time that we make that choice. Can't rely on mainstream media anymore. We need to look at those who are going to give us the real truth, actual facts, verifiable data. Independent media, it's going to be where we need to look now. When you come here to this channel, you're not going to get identity politics, nonsense, lies on lies to get more lies. On this channel, you get facts, truth, and verifiable data. I'll cite my sources. You can argue with me. That's fine. America's built on it. We need to be able to disagree with each other. Come to a common ground. That's what democracy is. Work together despite our differences. Build the nation up. It's a place for all people. Land of the free. We will remain. Because there's strength in unity. And we will resist for the future. I hope you'll join me again here on this channel as we chart a new path forward together, hand in hand. Take care of each other. Love each other. I'm Justice Rossetti. I'll see you.